Hi, I'm Mary DeBoer. I'm here with Cole DeBoer, Jacob Downa, and Nikhil Jain, and we'll be presenting our project for Vantage Point, which was creating an invoice portal. So to start off, we'll just talk about our poster and then move on to the demo. Our project objectives were to create a web-based system that allowed users to be able to access this website on any browser. Our next objective was to create a system that handles client invoices so that users will be able to view all their invoices and be able to filter and sort them as desired. We also needed to allow customers to access their invoices so that they would be able to download the desired invoice PDF of their choice. And we needed to also allow Vantage Point to create customer and admin accounts. So a customer or employee must request an account to be made by Vantage Point before they can't create their own. And our final objective was to provide different users with different requirements. So the admin users were able to manage accounts such as add, delete, view, and download customer invoices, while the customers were only able to view and download their PDF. Now that we've talked about the project objective, we'll hand the floor off to Jacob to talk about specifications and constraints.
All right, for specifications and constraints, I'll start off by talking about the specifications. The first one we got is that the system must be able to import PDF documents. The Vantage Point system must also have an admin account to view customer invoices and manage accounts. And lastly, the users must be able to change their passwords. Moving on to constraints, the system must use the most current version of .NET Framework, which would be programmed in C#. It must use Microsoft SQL Server as the backend database. And lastly, it must integrate the new database components with their current database and system. Now I will move on to the block diagram. Our block diagram is basically just a generalized overview of how our system will work. When a user goes to log in, they'll be greeted with the login interface where they will enter their username and password. If they enter a correct username and password, they will be routed to the corresponding interface based on their role. So if a customer were to log in, they'll be routed to the customer interface. And if an employee was to log in, they'd be routed to the employee interface. The customer interface, they will only be able to view and filter their PDFs, their invoices, whereas an employee will have the ability to manage accounts and view customers' invoices and all of those extra details. So now that I've finished talking about the specifications and constraints in the block diagram, I'm going to hand it over to Akil to talk about the design solution.
Okay, so for design, we started making mock-ups with draw.io so we could get our basics right and show the mock-ups to our sponsor, Adam, for his approval. We also used Visual Studio to develop code and Microsoft SQL Server for the database. We used GitHub for source control, so so everyone on our team could access the project. The pictures in this column will make more sense once we do a demo here in a bit. So let's move on to results. Our results showed that the invoice portal is ready for both customer and admin users to use. Invoice portal permits customers to view all their invoices and admins to view customer invoices and manage accounts. This was important because before all the customers would have to contact Vantage Point's billing department for accessing their invoices. Once the billing department was contacted, then they would have to send out emails with the customer's invoice that they requested, which was just a huge hassle for Vantage Point. So this will be really helpful. Users are able to filter and download invoices as needed, so they can filter by start date, end date, amount, and stuff like that. Generated passwords are emailed to the user upon initialization of the account or by requesting password reset. So once the account is made by the admin, whether it be an employee account or a customer account, a password like a GUID would be sent out to the email on the account, and then from there an employee or a customer can reset their password or do whatever with it. As you can see in the screenshot here, this is what our manage user page looks like, and you will be able to see it in action in the demo in a bit here. So once that I've talked about the results here, I will hand it over to Cole to talk about the conclusion, and he will do the demo as well.
So in conclusion, the system is deployable to IIS. The system is compliant with Vantage Point's current database, and our sponsor approved of our final product, and our product is using the latest version of the .NET framework. So now I will execute a demo here. So here is our landing page, is our login page, and we will log in as an admin account. Okay, so once logged in, we'll see the user management page, and here we are. So you can see we have 3 options: manage accounts, create admin account, and create customer account. So we'll create a customer account. So they need an email, a first name, and a last name. And that last name in there. Okay. And they need a company name. So we'll load up a company that we have some invoices for. Okay, so let me just click the register button. It will tell us, hey, we have a new customer account, and we will log out here. So click the log off button, and if we go to our email that we just sent that email to, we see that we have a message saying, here's your temporary password. So we will copy this password here. Oop. There we go. Okay, so here's the customer account that we just created. After we do that, it prompts us to change our password. So we will create a new password here. And we are in. So when we click this return to main page button, it brings us to the invoice portal. So you can see that we can see our company name here, and we're able to filter these invoices by start date, end date, and amount. And on the files here, there's PDF stored in the SQL Server database, and those files get loaded here. When you click the button in the lower left here, you see that the invoice was downloaded. So we'll click the invoice, and it says, oh, we have a Vantage Point invoice. So we'll log off as the customer now and log back in as the admin. Oh. So if we click on the Manage Accounts button, you can see in this portion, we have all of the user accounts, and we are able to sort them by email, first name, last name, if they're a customer, and their company name. So this is the, this top row is the user we just created. So if we click Manage User, we can click View Customer Invoices and see everything that the customer sees. And we're also able to filter, like the customer is able to filter on their page. On this Manage User page, we also have the information about the user here, their name, their username, and the company that they work for. If we reset the password, we get asked if we want to reset the password, click yes. And it says that the password was reset. So go back to our email, and we can see that we got a new email with a new temporary password. So we can reset passwords for our users. And one more time, if we go back there, manage the user, we can decide that we don't want them to be a user anymore. So we can delete the user account. Asks us if we are sure we want to do that. We click yes. The user has been deleted. And if we go back to our Manage Accounts page, you can see that that user is gone. So we'll log off. So that is our Vantage Point Invoice Portal Senior Design Project. Thank you for watching.